Pastor Mark Biltz here from Shaddai Ministries. Thank you again so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and share. Also, please like this video, and we would love to hear your comments. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye. Well, let me tell you just a little bit about my adventures. Here is where the Dominican Republic is, for those that don't know. The Dominican Republic is kind of interesting. It's an island, and it's split like 3/4 and a quarter, or half and half, whatever you want to say. Half of it is Haiti. The other half is Dominican Republic. Spain founded the Dominican Republic, and France founded Haiti. So they speak French on one half of the island and Spanish on the other half of the island. One of the problems that I found out, well, first, when you think of the Dominican Republic, what do you think of? Here's the actual Dominican Republic. That's the ocean kind of in the background. That's Santo Domingo. It's a pretty big place, but that's just one city. I mean, it's a little more rural in the northern parts. Traffic. Let me show you traffic. There, at this particular place, there are no street lights. And it's an intersection, and everyone just inches their way through. And as you can see on the left, the cars are going this way. Well, guess what? If they don't let these people in, they block all the cars going that way. It is a zoo there as far as traffic goes. Now, as you know, I was there with Rabbi Shapira, and he had some of his students there that were from many nations. I mean, they flew to this conference from, like Peru and Mexico. Just all kinds of, I think Brazil, Colombia, all kinds of nations. There was only a handful, but the reason he brought them was to help teach at some of the local churches, not only for them to learn, but so we all kind of went in different directions, speaking at different locations. Some of us were together at some locations. As a matter of fact, the first place I spoke at had 3,500 people. Okay, but the leader of that particular congregation is kind of like the Billy Graham of that, of the island. Okay, everyone knows him. Everyone, he's great. It was more of a Pentecostal type church. But it went very well there. The whole purpose of Rabbi Shapira having me come along too is to build bridges with these Christian pastors, because he wants to start a university specifically for the pastors, not for everybody else, because you got to make connection to the pastors. And then once they get it, then they'll do it. One of the other things we did, we also went to a TV studio. And one of the first things we did when I got there to promote the conference that was going to be taking place. Let me see if I have. Now, these are all Spanish speakers, but they're going to speak Hebrew. Anyone know this song? Turn it up. This is a practice for the TV show. There's Rabbi Shapira filming it. But it was really cool to be able to be part of this. We were holding a conference. We had a real good crowd at the conference. Here we went to the Israeli embassy in the Dominican Republic, and I got to meet and became good friends with the Israeli ambassador that was there. And so that it was great. Here's what their kind of White House looks like. We went to their Capitol building, and they have like a Congress and the Senate, and so we went into the different buildings. But the things that's surprising to me, do you know, how many remember 1492? Columbus sailed the ocean blue? Well, the Dominican Republic is the first place he landed. Okay? Well, and it's also where he's buried. And I'm going to tell you a little about that. But the Dominican Republic was founded completely by Jewish people. Even their first presidents or prime ministers, whatever you want, were all Jewish. And you can see in all their architecture, it's about God. Everything is about God. Everything is about the Torah. Inside the building itself, you see the commandments, all kinds of things. But it all has to do with the Bible. Here, look at this. Is inside a Senate chamber. You know, Moses receiving the Torah from, I believe that's Michael the archangel. But anyway, as we're going into the Senate chambers, all those blue flags are senators that are pro-life. What do you think of Roe v. Wade being overturned? Do I hear a little yay about that? But these are some of his students just kind of sitting down. We're looking at that. We're listening to some people speak. But the amazing thing about the Dominican Republic, almost all of the political leaders are not only Christians, many of them are pastors. I mean, there is no separation of church and state there. Here's like one of the number 3 guys in the government, and he's a pastor, and he had me speak at his church. So it was amazing. Now, here is one of the churches where I spoke at. Let's listen to that. Anyone recognize that song? The guy in white playing that trombone is one of the world's most famous trumpet trombone players. Yeah, he is incredible. But he's also a pastor. And I spoke at his place as well. Now, does anyone know what that is? This is where Christopher Columbus is buried. They also have at a big museum. If you go on the inside, here it is. It's just these long rows. It's turned into a museum of all these different timelines you can go through and look. But here is Christopher Columbus's big tomb thing. And as you get closer, that big black box is what supposedly has his bones in it. But a lot of people want to have his bones. They divide it up into several countries. But right there it is. But guess what? How many of you knew Christopher Columbus's name was not Christopher Columbus? As a matter of fact, you can see it there, but let me bring it closer. His last name was Cologne. It was Cologne. He died in 1506, so about 14 years after he, did the old 1492 thing. But evidently, from what I hear, Columbus is the English translation for Cologne, and it means dove, which is interesting. But are you ready for some shock and awe? His first name wasn't Christopher. Guess what his first name was that I found out? Moshe Yonah. 100% Jewish. So Rabanel, one of the Jewish people that lived back then, absolutely hated Christians with all of his heart. And there's no way he's the one who financed Christopher Columbus. And there's no way he would have financed him if he was a Christian. Well, just like my last name used to be Hirsch, and it got changed to Belts. Okay, I think my ancestor was Isaac Hirsch and changed his name to Naphtali Belts. But anyway, a lot of the Jews back then, because of persecution, would have different names. And if Christopher isn't a Christian name, I mean, he's trying to blend in and get all the financial support he can. But a lot of it was from Jewish people, and it was a boatload of Jews that landed there, and that's why it was founded. Isn't that fascinating? But anyway, in a couple of weeks, Rabbi Shapiro is going to be here for the whole service. But the second half, he and I are going to talk a little bit about all the things that happened in the Dominican Republic. It was amazing meeting with these leaders. I mean, we're meeting with people who are running for president. We are meeting with the top Knesset, or not Knesset, but of the Dominican Republic, their White House. And they are pastors. And so, I mean, they get along great. We even had the 2 pastors from 2 opposing parties sitting together at one of the services. But it's amazing how you can really feel the peace when you go there. You don't feel conflict. It just is amazing how everybody gets along.